I'm actually really excited, Malcolm. I've had about 4 different people from my group who've been following you that have mentioned your name to me, and they're like, "You got to get this guy on as a guest. He's really a stud when it comes to YouTube. He's really put a lot of energy and focus into it, and he's really starting to see some traction." And so, a big, huge core value of ours is collaboration, masterminding. We always have been of the belief that if you all work together, we can help each other level up because we all have different superpowers that we bring to the table, and clearly YouTube is one of your superpowers that you've really developed some proficiency in. So maybe walk us through quickly, just for people that don't know you, your market area. So if you guys have any referrals, you can send them over to Malcolm, and just kind of your journey in real estate so far, Malcolm.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. So I'm here in Maryland. I'm in Annapolis, Maryland. And really, I've been uploading content to YouTube since 2013 or so. I've got an outdoor channel, and that one's up to about 98,000 subscribers. And then I got my real estate license in 2016. And around then, as I started kind of experimenting with YouTube and trying to figure out how I can use it for lead generation. And so, yeah, I've got my real estate YouTube channel, and that's up to about 18,000 subscribers right now. And that's my primary source of lead generation, as I just make YouTube videos. And I find that also really helps with my lead conversion as well, and also helps me get more sphere of influence referrals, helps me get more database referrals. So YouTube in general is like a pretty integral part to my whole real estate business.
So you kind of really leaned into real estate in 2016. Is that when you really leaned into the YouTube thing?
Yeah, so 2016, I was in the military for a long time. I got out of the Air Force in July 2017. So that's really when I started my full-time career as a real estate agent. And I had my license late in 2016. I just kind of experimenting with videos back then. And I'd say I really kind of had a breakthrough in 2018. So after about a year into the business, trying out different videos. There weren't many models back then to really follow. Nobody's really doing a whole lot of YouTube. And I had one video that did really well. It was 10 things to know before moving to Maryland. And I uploaded that to YouTube and Facebook. The Facebook version got like 700,000 views organically. And then the YouTube version ended up ranking on the first page of Google for moving to Maryland and living in Maryland, a bunch of other really powerful search terms. And so that was like late 2018. I was like, wow, okay, there's definitely something here. And so I just started kind of rinsing and repeating and trying to really figure that out and make more content like that. And now, I've got YouTube videos that rank #1 for all sorts of search terms on YouTube. Type in selling your home, my video ranks #1 for that. You type in Annapolis, Maryland, my video ranks #1 for that. And moving to Maryland, living in Maryland, all these really powerful search terms on YouTube, which is the second largest search engine in the world. But a lot of these videos also rank on the first page of Google for those exact same search terms. So moving to Annapolis, Maryland, or moving to Pasadena, Maryland, or living in Maryland, all of these search terms, I've got videos on the first page of Google. And so that's how people find me. And that's my primary source of lead generation. And I focus on organic reach. I don't do any paid advertisements or anything like that on my videos. This is all about just creating the right type of content and really optimizing it for the platform.
I love that. So Malcolm, for people that are sitting here who know that YouTube is something that they need to kind of incorporate in their business, but they're not really sure where to start, you've already kind of blazed the trail, and you probably did some trial and error and figured out what works, what doesn't. What are some basic tips that you can give for people that really want to start leaning into YouTube as a channel?
Yeah, what I tell people is when you're first starting to get into it, it's a different platform than Facebook, and different type of content works well on that platform, different ways to optimize it for YouTube versus Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, any of those other platforms. And what I tell people is focus on lead conversion. What types of videos can you make right now that will help you convert more leads? And one of the first videos everybody should make is a how to buy a house. Pretty much your buyer's consultation. Make that into a YouTube video. If you have any remote buyers or something that you can't meet with them face to face, you can send them that video. And now you can use your video to increase your lead conversion. So I work with a lot of service members in this area. We have a lot of military bases in Maryland. And so let's say I get somebody who's PCSing to Andrews Air Force Base, and I'm just talking to them through email. I can say, hey, great, here's my video all about Andrews Air Force Base. you're using the VA loan. Here's my video all about using the VA loan. And you're moving to Waldorf, Maryland. Here's my video all about Waldorf, Maryland. And it goes just from me having either like a phone conversation with them or just an email exchange to now like I'm the expert. I know all how to use the VA loan and about the local areas and about the cities. And it goes from just, you know, a text communication to me and them. They're hearing my voice, they're seeing my face, my mannerisms, and they're building that relationship on a much deeper level. And so that's really what I'll tell people if they're really just first jumping into this, they're afraid their videos aren't going to do well. Just focus on what can you create to use as a tool to increase your lead conversion.
Right. Love that. Keep it simple. What are some of the misconceptions for people about YouTube that are starting out? And I'll maybe lead this with, how important is like your equipment in doing that? Because I think some people they think they have to hire like a film crew or do all this extensive stuff with YouTube. And so what are your opinions on that?
Yeah, great question. There's a lot of misconceptions. So talking about the equipment, first off, like, yes, equipment is not important at all. So this is this is like a $3,000 camera, I think, and then like a $500 lens that I use. This is a Sony A7 III. But the truth is, my latest cell phone does like 90% of that quality. Like, it's amazing how good cell phones are these days, and they're getting better and better. And so I've got this expensive camera, and I've got like a $500 gimbal, but like the stabilization in this thing is like so much easier to use, and it's almost just as good as that. So equipment, you don't need anything. Like, you can literally just start filming on your phone. If you want to upgrade to a fancy camera, you know, you're only going to get like a 10% increase in the video quality. It's not going to be a significant increase. So equipment, yeah, don't let that be a reason why you're not getting into video. The content is what's most important. So that is one misconception. The only exception to that is that I will say that lighting is pretty important when it comes to videos. And I recommend that people invest in soft boxes. So something like this is a softbox, and all it is, you know, just a couple of bulbs in there, and it just it passes the light through a screen like this, which creates a nice soft light to it, nice soft glow. And I do recommend that people invest in something like this. This would be like $100. If you're going to set up like a little studio in your home, invest in something like that, and maybe invest in a good microphone as well. Those would be the only two places to really invest. But really, you know, $100, $200, you can take care of both those things. Another misconception is that so on Facebook, so the misconception is that you have to have really fancy and elaborate videos. But the content of the video is what's really important, kind of the idea behind the video. So on Facebook, for example, when somebody watches a video, the video automatically starts playing. And so they're watching the video and they have to make a decision. Do I want to stay and watch this video and unmute it, or do I want to keep scrolling by? So with Facebook, you know, you want to have some catchy stuff to really get their attention and get them to unmute it. But on YouTube, they have to first see your title, and they have to be interested in that topic and see your thumbnail. And that's what's really going to captivate them and make them want to click on the video. And it's really the content of the video that's much more important than all the fancy cinematography and all the graphics and animations and everything like that. I've seen some very like simple videos where the message in the video is really compelling, and I get hooked. I get stuck watching it, even though it doesn't have a lot of fancy transitions. And then I also see some videos out there that have tons of fancy transitions and really cinematic shots, but there isn't any real like meat and potatoes to it. There's no really good, captivating content. So that's kind of where I'm going with that, is that you want to have good content. The actual words coming out of your mouth are really important to creating good videos. And that's far more important than having fancy transitions and cinematography and all that stuff.
Perfect. So for those of you that have analysis paralysis, and you're like, oh my God, no, don't be perfect. Just do it, right? Like, start putting valuable content out there. And so here's what I know, and you tell me how right I am with this, Malcolm, but I believe that video is the best way, without meeting somebody, to build trust, right? For them to feel like they know you, to really showcase your values and authenticity is probably one of the most important things that I would suggest if you're going to do content. Be yourself. How important is that in your opinion, based on what you've seen?
Yeah, absolutely. So like to your point, like video is this next best thing to meeting somebody in person. Like in your brain, when they see you and hear your voice and see your facial expressions, that's firing off a lot of the exact same neurons in your brains that gets fired off when they're seeing you in person. Yeah, it's so much more powerful than just seeing like your face in an image and some text or even a phone call. Um, and sorry, what was your second point? Oh, authenticity.
Authenticity, yeah. Because I think
Yeah.
sometimes people try to act differently when they're on camera for some reason than just who they really are. And I always say, just be
Mhm.
you.
Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of people when they first start in the videos, they want to like read a script. And the thing is like when you're reading something, you can see that in somebody's face. You can tell like, man, that guy's reading something. There's no facial expression. You can kind of see their eyes moving. And, or if you're trying to memorize a script, you can kind of see somebody like straining in their face. And it kind of builds a disconnect with that. So one thing I've been doing lately is instead of scripting out every word that I'm going to say in a video, I'll just make bullet points. And then when I actually record the video, I kind of improvise it a little bit. And I do try to be a little bit more authentic and give my opinion about that and just be a little bit more natural because people can really sense that when you're being natural versus if you are being really, strict and formal. And a big part of video is just building that relationship with your audience, and they want to see the real you. And if they can't connect with you, that may not be a good thing.
Right. Yeah, good point. So for anybody that's, okay, starting to get into YouTube, what are like some musts, what are like the top three things if you were coaching me on my YouTube channel, what are the top three things I need to do today to make sure that I have the best chance for results?
Right? Yeah. Top three things. So what one thing is that you really want to focus on the title and thumbnails of your videos. So like I was saying, getting people to click on your video is going to be the very first challenge. On Facebook, your video automatically starts playing. On YouTube, they have to click on your video first. And that's the very first challenge. And a lot of people don't look at it that way. And so when you're creating the title of your videos, you want to make your titles like a headline, not like a label. So a lot of people may say, if your video is how to buy a house, a lot of people may say like, buyer's consultation as the title of the video. And that's not very compelling. I wouldn't want to click on that. But, if you said, real estate secrets to buying your first home, that's a little bit more compelling, or how to save $5,000 when you're buying your first home. It's a much more compelling title and compel somebody to want to click on it. Then another aspect of that is going to be the thumbnail of the video. Every video you upload to YouTube, you should have a custom thumbnail for that. So that is a separate graphic that you need to create. And that's going to be the thumbnail of your video. And that also has to be really compelling to get people to want to click on the video. If it's just like a random screen grab from the video, people, they're not going to be very compelled to click on that. And pay attention when you're scrolling around on YouTube. Why, if you see a video that you want to click on it, ask yourself, why do I want to click on that video? A lot of times they make you curious somehow with the title and the thumbnail. And kind of the third aspect to getting people to click on your videos, or winning the click is what we call that, is the actual topic and content of the video. I guess the topic of the video. If you're making a video about escrow accounts, nobody's going to click on that because that's a very boring topic. No matter how good of a title and thumbnail you have, nobody wants to watch a video about escrow accounts. But if you make a video, 10 things to know before moving to Maryland, that's a compelling topic, right? There are pros and cons of living in Maryland. That's a compelling topic that people, are interested in. So those are kind of the three aspects to winning the click, is you have to have a good, compelling title, good, compelling thumbnail, and a good, compelling topic to the video. So that's kind of one aspect to it. Another thing is that I would say you just have to kind of start and just kind of dive into it. There is a bit of a learning curve to YouTube. It's not quite as intuitive as some of the other platforms. You do need to kind of learn the best practices for it. And really the best way to do that is just to dive into it. And I can guarantee you that your 5th video and your 10th video and your 20th video are going to be better than your first video. You just keep doing it, and you're gonna get more comfortable and more natural on camera. Your editing is gonna get a little bit better. You're gonna get a better realization for what works and what doesn't work on YouTube. I'd say just study other YouTubers as well. See kind of what's working for them, what aspects of their videos you like and what aspects you don't like, and try to implement that into your own videos. And I'd say one more thing would be to get to the content as soon as you can. A lot of real estate agents, we have a terrible habit of when somebody starts a video, they ramble on for like a minute, 2 minutes about themselves. And, this is how a lot of agents start their videos, hey, I'm Malcolm Lawson. I'm the #1 real estate agent in Maryland. If you need to buy, sell, and invest in real estate, call me. Don't forget to subscribe and like and leave a comment down below. Go follow us on Pinterest. Go follow us on Instagram. If you need a referral for your area, give me a call. And then they finally get to the content. And the problem with that is that people immediately back out of the video. If you have too many call to actions at the start of your videos, people are going to back out. YouTube can see that, and they're not going to promote your video nearly as much. So when I start my videos, I usually start with a hook, and then I get right into the content, got in the meat and the potatoes, and try to provide whatever it is that I promise in the title and the thumbnail of the video.
That's so key, right?
I know I threw a lot out at you.
No, that's good. That's gold. And this is recorded, so people are going to be able to go back and take notes and watch this as many times as they need to. So we have some questions coming in already. Malcolm, how important are subtitles in a video?
Not very important. So you're talking about like the closed captions of the videos?
Yeah, like if you have your volume turned off, hearing the sound.
Yeah, not very important. So YouTube they have, a bot, and they'll automatically create a transcript for your video automatically that'll show there. They're only like 80% accurate. Like there are a lot of mistakes and everything in there. And so a lot of the big YouTubers, what they will do is they'll send their video to a company like rev.com. They'll create a transcript of your video, which you can then upload directly to YouTube. And a lot of big YouTubers do that because they don't want the bot misunderstanding a word that they said. Maybe they interpret it as something like hate speech or something like that, and then they don't promote their video as much. But for us, I don't typically do that. Most of my friends don't typically do that. It's not really, the juice isn't really worth the squeeze, in my opinion, to actually go get a transcript made of your videos and upload it directly to it.
Okay, perfect. So we got some other questions here. Let's see. How long do you make your hook?
Yeah, so 10 to 20 seconds or so. So yeah, usually. So let me kind of explain the YouTube algorithm to you guys real quick. That'll kind of explain the hook a little bit more. So let's say you upload a video. What YouTube is going to do is they're going to quickly look through your videos. They're going to look through your description. They're going to look through the title and the tags of your videos. And then they are going to look at the transcript as well, your actual subtitles, and they're going to get an idea of what your video is about. So let's say moving to Maryland. Then they're going to test out that video, let's say for that search term. Next time somebody searches for that, they're going to test your video and see if it's a good fit for that search result. And they're going to measure what percentage of people actually click on your video. So they may rank your video #1 temporarily for like moving to Maryland to test it out. And if nobody clicks on your video, they're not going to keep it there. They're going to say, okay, this is obviously not a good fit for that search term. So that's why having a good click-through rate is so important. So the next thing is that if they click on your video, then they're going to watch how long do they watch your video for. If the people are only watching it for 30 seconds and then they back out, that's obviously not going to be a good fit either. So YouTube's not going to promote your video. So you have to have a very clickable video. You have to keep people watching for your video for a long time. They look at the duration, like 5 minutes, let's say. They also look at the percentage, so maybe 40% of your video on average. And you can see all those metrics. And so that's why the hook is so important. If you have a good hook at the start of your video, that can keep people watching your video longer. So, let me give you an example of a good hook. So let's say you wanted to make a video about, my 10 home buying tips. You could start the video off saying, hey guys, today I'm gonna give you my 10 home buying tips. Tip #1, and you get right into it. So that's without a hook. Another way you can start the video is something like this, where you say, Today, guys, I'm going to share with you my secrets that I just used on my own client to save him over $10,000. And stay tuned till the end where I'm going to share with you a secret that I bet your own real estate agent doesn't even know about. Today, I'm going to share with you my 10 secrets of how I save my clients money. Something like that is a hook. You're hyping up the value of that they're going to get out of that video. And by having a good hook in your video, you can absolutely see on the charts that people watch your videos longer. So that's why having a good hook is so important. So I think they asked, how long do I make my hooks? I mean, it kind of depends, but usually pretty short, 10, 20 seconds. You don't usually need that long of a time. But I always try to start my video with the hook, just hyping up what they're going to get out of that video.
Yeah, I've heard that from several very successful YouTubers as well. Very important. Let's see here. Is it better to post videos frequently or wait until you have a really good content video?
Right. So that is that's really a question about quantity versus quality. And that's a challenge that all YouTubers are facing, honestly. So with quantity, you could upload a video every single day, but they're probably not going to be very great videos. And on the other end of the spectrum, you could upload a video once a month. That's amazing. But you're not uploading very often. And the truth is that it's going to be somewhere in between. And you have to kind of test out what works for you. You know, I will say that lately I've been moving my needle a little bit more towards the quantity, where I upload more often and I don't spend as much time editing my videos as I used to. So it's really kind of up to you guys and really what kind of systems you have in place, whether you have a video editor or a videographer, that kind of thing. But, you know, if you could upload one video a week, that's a pretty good rhythm. And there are people who takes it to the extreme and they'll upload. I've seen people do like 3 videos a day, but they're just like kind of crummy videos that they shoot really quickly, no editing. They shoot on their phone, no thumbnails, no titles or anything. That model won't work on YouTube. You really do need to find a balance between the ideal situation is that you upload really good quality videos and you upload a lot of them, but that's pretty challenging. So it is a bit of a balancing act, finding where and how often you upload.
Yeah. So Maggie, what I would say is create a measurable activity plan where you commit, say, to start maybe 1 video a week, build it into your calendar, consistently do it, right? Put a couple hours dedicated specifically to do that, start there. And then as you get traction after, say, a month or 2 of getting into the rhythm, then you can adjust your measurable activity plan to 2 videos a week. But start somewhere. If you did 1 video a week over the course of 12 months, that's 52 videos, right? And the beauty, would you agree with this, Malcolm, of YouTube is like a video can last at least 2 years where it's relevant. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I mean, my video, 10 Things to Know Before Moving to Maryland, that's been on the first page of Google for almost 3 years now for the search term moving to Maryland. And yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what you say. You know, shoot for at least 1 video a week. And then, you know, you're going to get more proficient at it. And the amount of time it takes to shoot 1 video and edit it is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And there's other ways that you can implement leverage in that by getting more efficient with your systems. So, for example, I was saying before that I used to have, I write out an entire script. Now I just write out like a bullet point script instead. And that saves me a lot of time. And I improvise a little bit more. My videos to save me more time. You can hire a video editor to edit your videos. That'll save you a little bit more time. One thing that some people do is that they'll record 2 or 3 videos in just 1 day. So if your goal is 4 videos a month, you could just literally film 1 day a month where you just sit down and you film all 4 of those videos back to back in 1 day. Then you kind of edit those throughout the month and you go ahead and upload those. So yeah, it really is kind of refining your systems and getting more proficient about it.
Yeah, love it. How about the sound? What are you using to have the best sound? Is sound important? So before you answer that, tell me, I've got this, it's a Yeti, I think.
Mm-hmm.
A Yeti Blue or something like that. Somebody recommended to me. I don't know if you guys have noticed an improvement in our sound quality, but I've been using this for about a week now. It was like a couple $100, I think, $150. It was recommended to me. What do you know anything about it? What would you recommend for a good sound system?
Yeah, I've actually got a Yeti as well that I use for some of my live streams. I'm not using it today. It's kind of a pain in the neck, but Yeah, Yeti is perfectly fine quality, you know, $100, $200 for that. What I use, so this is my camera. I've got the Rode VideoMic Pro, which just attaches to the top of my camera. And this is a directional microphone, so it only picks it up in one direction, sound. And then another thing you can get is a lavalier mic. And these are little microphones that can clip right here on your lapel. Rode makes a good one, the Rode Go, I believe it is. I think it's like $200 and it's completely wireless. They also have wired ones that have like a 6-foot cable. So you can plug it into your phone and then like feed the cable up through here and just have a little mic right here on your collar. So that would give you better, pretty good audio as well. I mean, a couple tips is, you know, the closer you can get the microphone to your mouth, the better your audio is going to sound. One second. And if you're going to do a lot of, so I like the model of having a little studio set up. So I have my little studio here, designed it just for filming. And I've got these sound dampening panels kind of like throughout the room here. This one here goes in the corner. This one here kind of goes up on the wall. And what this does is it prevents the echoes. If you're in an empty room and you're trying to record, you'll notice that your sound will bounce off the walls and hit the microphone at a different time. You hear an echo. So you can get these things fairly cheap. You stick them up on your wall and it absorbs a lot of those echoes, and that'll give you a much better audio as well. But as a general rule of thumb, the closer you can get the microphone to your face, so the better it sounds. That's why the lav mics are a really good fit for a lot of people.
Awesome. So again, not too expensive, business write-offs, but worth it because it'll improve the quality of your sound. And I have heard that YouTube will rank sound quality higher than they will video quality.
Interesting. I never heard of that, but I could believe it.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that from several YouTubers now, actually, that have mentioned that to me, to really make sure that your sound is spot on. I've got another question here. So there's a company that we've just started using, and I know a few people have recommended them for video editing, called VidChops. I don't know if you've heard of them, but do you have any video editors that you recommend?
Not really. I've tried a few video editors, but I guess I'm just too much of a control freak and I just like editing myself. You know, I think editing it's part of the creative process. You know, you have a vision for a video and editing is part of that. But, you know, a lot of people, you know, that may not be their priority. The editors that I have found, I've gone to Upwork.com, and Upwork.com is a place where you can hire freelancers. I hire people to write blog posts for me there all the time. And I've hired a few editors on there. I've tried a few out. Upwork.com is a great one. And then, you know, Fiverr.com is kind of like a cheaper version. But you can go to Fiverr.com as well, hire editors on there. But Upwork.com, I love that site. You can post a job there saying, hey, everybody, I'm looking for an editor for my real estate videos. Send me your portfolio, and people can like bid on your job pretty much and like give you their credentials.
Love it. Check out, I'll add that to your list, VidChops. It's been awesome. I know a few people that have been using it. Videos quality is excellent. The editing is really good, and they do like unlimited edits. And it's actually one of the most cost-effective options that I found, because we looked at Fiverr, we looked at a lot of things. So check out VidChops when you get some time. I think, you know, for some people that are like me, that are just like, look, I don't want to learn how to edit a video.
Right.
My return on time is going to be better focusing on other tasks in real estate. I think that's a good option for people to explore. There's another question here. Can you recommend the best camera for shooting your own video on your studio and office that also works great with a green screen? I know you talked about it early. Maybe this person was late on the call, but maybe just go back through that again.
Yeah. So, I mean, for many people, like, honestly, your phone is amazing. It's ridiculous how good a quality your phone does. But I can tell you the camera. So a lot of people also use the GoPros. The GoPros do really good quality as well. So you definitely use that. I have the Sony A7 III, which is what I use. This is like top of the line right here. I think it's like $3,500, something like that. And with this one, you get different lenses. And I've got one, it's a Sigma f1.4 aperture lens. And that's what gives me a really shallow depth of field. It like blurs out the background, which I like that effect. But that's, you know, pretty high end there. A lot of videographers use that. But really, like, any kind of camera should work with the green screen. That green screen is really just about the editing and having the proper lighting for that. But I'd say start with your phone and then upgrade if you want to, or just kind of keep sticking with your phone.
I mean, the new iPhones, the video quality is insane. It's really,
Yeah, yeah.
good.
It's
And
great. And
if
the
you're not a
audio is,
photographer, you notice it. Like you don't really even notice that big of a difference. Like you were saying before, it's like you might get a 10% boost by spending all this money on a camera. So if that's not really in the budget, I think the biggest investment would probably be a good microphone. Wouldn't you agree? Making sure your sound quality is on point versus making a huge expenditure and getting the expensive camera right off the bat. Maybe work up to it as you get some ROI from what you're doing. Would you agree with that?
yeah, absolutely. Don't. I wouldn't recommend spending $5,000 on a camera until you're committed to YouTube. Upload a bunch of videos, make sure this is something that you can keep consistently doing, and then you can upgrade your equipment later on. But yeah, you could use a phone from, a 3-year-old phone if you wanted to, and it'd still be amazing quality. So most, a lot of people talk to me about like, oh, should I be uploading a 4K and all this stuff? On YouTube, the majority of reviews are going to come from cell phones. And the majority of those are going to come from people watching your phone vertically. So that's how big your video is going to be most of the time. So whether you have 4K or 1080p or 720p, most people are not going to be able to really notice a big difference. So the actual quality is not that important. The content is the most important thing.
Love it. Chelsea asked, what would you say is an ideal ratio between personal videos versus business videos? Personal being promoting small business, nature walks, business being more market-based, buyers, seller tips.
Yeah, great question. So like I do have a course if anybody's interested in checking that out. And in that course, I teach a sales funnel. And in that sales funnel, you have this top layer of like discoverable videos of how people are going to actually find you. So that'd be a lot of what she's talking about there. But the kind of the middle part of the sales funnel is that I do think that people should make relationship videos. So these are videos that they're not going to rank in any search, but they're there just to build that relationship with your audience on a deeper level. So they actually, they like you, they kind of build that relationship with you. So as for a ratio, I'd say maybe every 3 discoverable videos to every 1 relationship video. So an example one would be if you made a video about, why I became a real estate agent or who is Malcolm Lawson. You just kind of talk about yourself, no real estate advice or anything like that. Just kind of build that relationship. One example of these types of videos I was doing for a while is I would go find some like national park or state park in my area and just on my phone, just go shoot a quick little vlog of me and my family kind of exploring this park. And, it's not going to rank really in anything. It's not going to get tens of thousands of views, but it's on that page. And if somebody is really interested in using you, they're going to watch that and it's going to build that relationship on a much deeper level.
And I actually think it makes some of the best drip campaign material with people that you've made some contacts with so that you can send them personalized content that speaks to them. If you've connected with a prospect that loves hiking and you happen to be going to doing a hiking trail, document that for them. If they've never been to Annapolis in your case, they probably would want to get that video and watch it, right? By them watching the video, it's another connection with you. They feel like they know you and now you're speaking their language or you're giving them information. So beauty of content, guys, is you can reuse it in so many different ways, not just YouTube, right, Malcolm? I mean, there's your social media, there's just your drip campaigns. So a lot of us are heavy into online lead generation and have big databases. What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, you absolutely can use this for lead conversion, get more sphere of influence referrals, more database referrals. Just by you upload the video to YouTube and also upload it to Facebook, your business page, your personal page, and it's giving you content to share. You're staying in front of your sphere of influence there on Facebook. A lot of people will tell you, go and post some cheap, or cheesy like real estate meme every once in a while to kind of remind your sphere of influence that you're a real estate agent. Like I don't need to do that because I'm constantly posting my YouTube videos. Everybody on my Facebook feed knows that I'm a real estate agent because they watch my YouTube videos. So yeah, you can definitely reuse the content in that way. And to your point, I have a couple of videos like top 10 national parks in Maryland, top 10 amusement parks in Maryland. And I have buyers that tell me that those are their favorite videos of mine because, they're moving to Maryland. They don't know anything about the state. They don't know what it's cool to do here or where to go on the weekends. And they tell me that those are their favorite videos, not about real estate, just about things to do in the area. And they kind of go down that list and go and explore some of those things that I talk about in the videos.
Love it. Smart, man. Malcolm, you mentioned vertical videos. There seems to be a big debate between vertical versus horizontal. So can you maybe put that one to bed?
Yeah, so horizontal, that's what you want. So YouTube just recently started allowing some vertical videos. So you can upload a vertical video to YouTube, but it doesn't, that format doesn't really do very well. And they have YouTube Shorts now, which is a new thing where you can upload it's to compete with like Snapchat and stuff, where you can have, or TikTok, where you can have a 60-second vertical video. I don't really recommend people do those. Those really are not that effective on YouTube right now. In a lot of ways that actually can kind of annoy your audience if they're used to one type of content. Now you're uploading these little 30-second long videos on your channel. So yeah, most of your content you do want to upload on horizontal. TV is a growing platform for YouTube. Every year, more and more views are coming from the TV. They're trying to compete with Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and everything for your TV, and they're putting out premium content. And I really think that in the next 5-10 years, TV is going to become a bigger part of YouTube. So you want horizontal for that as well.
Nice. I've noticed that my kids don't watch TV anymore. They watch YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is my TV. Yeah. I mean, I watch more YouTube than Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, any of those things.
Yeah, that's true. So can you talk about, so I've created this great video, right? I'm really excited about it. I do the thumbnail. I, make sure that I have the thumbnail and I have the good title and I'm excited about it. What are some launch strategies that people can do in order to maximize the viewership of the video and help give it a little lift when it comes to YouTube?
Right. Really not much. I hate to say it, it used to be a lot of people would recommend that you email out to your database and you post it on Facebook and all this other stuff. A lot of that stuff's actually not really recommended now. And the reason why is that as soon as you upload that video, YouTube is instantly going to start analyzing it and determining how well it performs. And if you start sending traffic to it, it can actually screw up the algorithm and really confuse it. And so a lot of people recommend that you upload it and you let it go, let the algorithm work and analyze the video. Let's say you do share it on Facebook. People on Facebook generally have a much shorter attention span. They don't watch videos nearly as long as they do on YouTube. So somebody may click on it and then only watch 10 seconds of it and click back off. And if you send a lot of traffic to that video and they're only watching it for 30 seconds and backing out, that can hurt the performance of your YouTube video. So it's much better to let the YouTube algorithm really analyze your video on its own and really test it out for different search results and everything, where you're probably going to get people to watch it a lot longer than you would have on Facebook.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's good because that's conflicting to some of the information I've had recently, which is get some views on the video early. So send it out to your list. Make sure you have a launch strategy. So you're saying don't do that. Just let the algorithm do its thing.
Yeah, absolutely. There used to be, there's a Facebook group of real estate agents who used to go and watch, like, and subscribe to each other's YouTube videos. And people would post a brand new video there. Then all these real estate agents would go there just to like and comment. And that was like destroying people's videos. It was totally screwing up their algorithm, and nobody really got any views out of their videos after they sent all these agents there just to watch it, because people were only watching it 10, 20, 30 seconds and then backing out. They weren't really interested in the content. So generally speaking, I don't promote my videos anywhere else. I upload them. I let the algorithm do its thing and get just some clean data. I don't want to mess with that data of the algorithm.
Love it. Somebody asked what your channel name looks like. So I'm actually going to just throw it up on the screen if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to throw it up. So this is what Malcolm's channel looks like. So for anybody that was wondering, this is what it looks like. So really descriptive immediately. I think I know, okay, this guy's in real estate, gives financial advice, good, strong headlines. So maybe walk us through what you've done here and why it's important.
Yeah. So I think it's important to have a clear message of who your target audience is of your channel. And my target audience used to be people in Maryland, and I've actually changed my content now, making it a little bit more broader, and I just providing like real estate and financial advice. So so that's called the value proposition. What is the value proposition of the channel? And I like just spelling it out. Subscribe for real estate and financial advice. Very straightforward. That's why they should subscribe to the channel. I think that my title, I have realtor in my title of my channel as well, just so people kind of know what to expect. They're going to expect real estate content. And then you can also add a channel trailer there as well. And in that, I kind of spell it out for people as well. And I have all my contact information on the front there, as well as a link to my website in the top right.
Love it. Smart. And then look at all the thumbnails, like everything he's talking about, right? Good titles that are catchy, and look at the views. Huge,
Yeah, I mean,
huge engagement on these.
And that's it. Like, you have to create good titles and thumbnails that get people to click. Like, you have to win the click. And I mean, that's almost more important. That's almost as important as the video itself. You could have an amazing, beautiful video, but if nobody clicks on it, it's not going to do well on YouTube.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So there you go. I hope that answers the question for the person that asked. Any other questions here? Some people are saying this is my favorite SEO mindset so far. We've had some really good ones, Malcolm. So this is great. That's good feedback. Best title for the algorithm to do a thing on a new listing video. So for example, a lot of us we do like really nice listing videos and make that a big deal and use it for Facebook and Instagram. What's the best way to get those listings to really work with the YouTube algorithm, in your opinion?
Right. So that is challenging. I'll be honest. Listing videos oftentimes don't do very well on YouTube. That's just the reality of it. I haven't seen too many people have a whole lot of success with that. The people who do have good success with it, they are in the videos themselves, and they make them entertaining and interesting. So if you're doing just hiring a videographer to do a video of an empty house, most likely that video is just not going to do well on YouTube. That's just reality. But if you're in there, you're giving a tour of it, then it could do a little bit better. And what I like doing is with the listing video maybe is try to find some interesting aspect to the house and try to incorporate that into the title. Don't put just the address. Do something like best water views in Annapolis, Maryland. Or amazing kitchen in Chesapeake Beach. I like that model, that formula of a great aspect of the house and then a really cool or the name of the area as the title. And that way, if somebody ever typed in Annapolis, Maryland, you have a chance that video may rank. But when people put like just the address, like most likely people are not really going to click on that.
Yep. Somebody asked, how many leads are you generating from YouTube buyer and seller per month, roughly?
It's like right now I'm getting like 3 to 4 a week YouTube leads. I mean, I may get more than that, but I've been referring out a lot more. I do have a lot of content about all of Maryland, and I've been referring a lot of those things out. Last year I did a little over 100,000 in GCI just from the leads that I got from YouTube. Actually, the last 2 years I did over 100,000 in GCI just from YouTube leads. And this year, that's really my only source of lead generation. I've dropped everything else off, and I'm just doing YouTube. And the great thing is that I make money off of YouTube as well. So last year I made about $20,000 that YouTube paid me for making the videos as well. And then I had about $15,000 in referral fees I made last year as well.
Nice. So again, not paying any money on ads, just YouTube, passively making $20,000 last year in YouTube and probably slowly growing, right? With YouTube. And then 100,000 in GCI directly from YouTube, and then some referral income. So, a 6-figure income for yourself. And this is literally your only thing that you focus on. You're not doing any other form of advertising, marketing, or follow-up.
No, nothing else. I mean, I do get a lot of referrals from other agents as well, which I don't count in that 100,000. Obviously a lot of agents, they find my videos, and if an agent's looking for somebody in Maryland, they'll find me as well. And, I can use my content to show my credibility with that.
So that's something that you're not calculating in that 100,000, but I think you should be counting that in your 100,000, because at the end of the day, you're making a lot more than 100,000 through these videos, right? If you're getting referrals and other things that you wouldn't have been an option if it wasn't for the fact that they've been seeing you and seeing your content. So that's really good to know. You also offer a course on YouTube, Malcolm. So, I mean, it's an opportunity for you to kind of plug that. Love to support you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I got a couple of resources that you guys can check out. One is I've got a Facebook group, the Real Estate YouTube Mastermind Facebook group. It's maybe 3,000 members in there, and there's several guys and several people in there that are just crushing it on YouTube. Christina Smallhorn, she's up to 75,000 subscribers on her channel. She's pulling in over $100,000 a year just from YouTube on her channel. Ken Pozak's in there. Last year, he closed over $20 million in volume just from YouTube leads. Jeremy Knight is in there. I think he did like 15 million last year in volume just from YouTube leads. A lot of people are really crushing it in this Facebook group. So you guys can check that out, Real Estate YouTube Mastermind. And then I do have my website's youtubeleadgen.com. I got some free training on there, some free resources. I got recommendations for my different camera equipment and everything on there as well. And then on there, I do have a course that you guys could check out as well if you really want to dive into really what videos you should be making to generate leads, and then how to optimize those videos for YouTube as well. And you can find that on my website as well, youtubeleadgen.com.
YouTube, I'm going to put it in the chat, youtubeleadgen.com. Yep. Awesome, man. Perfect. A couple more questions. Are you okay? A few more minutes?
I can talk about YouTube all day.
All right, awesome, man. I love your passion, by the way. It's coming through, and I think it's creating an awesome episode, so I appreciate it. So somebody asked, since listing videos may rank poorly, is it better to create a different channel for overall real estate advice and real estate lifestyle marketing being discussed?
That's not a bad idea. If you do a lot of listing videos and that's all your channel is right now, then you may want to consider putting those on a separate channel. So you have your team's names and then listings. And really there's a couple of different models that work on YouTube for real estate agents. What I recommend that you guys really do is you make informational videos about your geographical area, that you cover. So if it's Annapolis, if it's Maryland, if it's your county or part of your state, pick an area and say, this is my area and this is going to be my target audience, and make educational, informational content about that area. Topics that work really well is anything that has the word moving to or living in the title of the video. So a really easy one all you guys can do right now is pros and cons of living in blank. That, I've got pros and cons of living in Maryland that I made years ago, and that one's still on the first page of Google for moving to Maryland and living in Maryland. And I've seen a lot of people have a lot of success with that. Pros and cons of living in blank. I have video 10 things to know before moving to blank. Jeremy Knight's a friend of mine. He has, real things to know before moving to Austin, Texas. But anything with that search term moving to and living in, those are really powerful for generating leads. And yes, I really recommend that you guys create content about your local area and informational content that buyers would be looking for. And so that's one model. And that's what I used to do for a long time. The second model that works well on YouTube is that you go after a national audience. And that's what I've shifted to now, where I make educational videos about, nationwide. That's what my friend Christina Smallhorn does, and a few other people. And that's because I want to get a full-time income from YouTube eventually and just refer everything out. That's my end game there. But I wouldn't recommend that you guys make that type of content if your goal is lead generation. That hyper local content about your city and your state is much more efficient at generating leads, in my opinion, than making bigger, broader content. But yeah, to your point, the listing videos, I've never seen those really work out on anybody's channel. And if you're making a bunch of informational videos and then you have a couple of listing videos in there, people aren't not going to find that interested. And I would have a separate channel just for your listing videos if you really want to put those up on YouTube. Or you can upload it to your channel and put it as unlisted. And this means that they can only view it if you have a link to it. So that way you can still share that link to YouTube or Facebook, and you can put it in blog posts and email it out, but nobody can, it's not going to be public on your actual YouTube page.
Yeah. And something that's kind of smart here, guys, and I hope you guys are paying attention to this. Malcolm's talking about building passive income for himself, right? Anybody that coaches with me and knows me, like, I'm a big fan of having multiple streams of income. It's very important because we all know exchanging time for money as a realtor can be very lucrative, but it can come to an end very quickly with a life event, right? And so it's smart for people to think about their retirement, think about their future, think about the lifestyle they want. And $1 of commission income is not worth the same as $1 of passive income. And I hope you guys really understand. And if you don't, we'll do a whole episode on understanding that because it's very important. But like when you have money going into your account over and over for work that you've done in the past, that's probably the smartest thing you can do. And I've masterminded with a lot of very successful and wealthy people. And sometimes in real estate, we look up to these realtors that do this huge production. But I can tell you a lot of them are very close to losing it all because they maintain these crazy lifestyles, but none of it's passive. It's just exchanging time for money. What I like about what you're doing here is you kind of have a bit of an exit strategy that you're building towards, right?
Yeah.
Smart.
That's exactly what I tell people. Everybody has an exit strategy out of real estate. Nobody wants to do this forever. Whether you're going to be a coach or a recruit or a team leader, my exit strategy that I'm working on is to get a full-time income from YouTube and just refer everything else out. And I mean, I really think I can get to that point in the next 12 to 24 months and just get out of production, just refer out on my business and just work on making YouTube videos.
Yeah. So what I'm not saying though is, all of a sudden you go and you're in real estate and you're going to skip all the steps of making money so that you can fund these things and just be like, I'm going to be a YouTuber. So this leads to the next question. How long does it realistically take to get traction where you can start seeing an ROI from your efforts? Because I think there's probably some people here that are like, I'm going to throw everything out the window, screw doing calls and all this other stuff. I'm just going to do YouTube. And I'd hate to say this, but I think a lot of them will end up falling flat on their face, right? Because this has to be a longer term play. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I do agree with that. To just kind of set people's expectations, I usually tell them, like, it may take you 6 months before you really start generating leads from this, because you may have to make a few videos before one of them actually ranks on YouTube or ranks in Google. And it's going to take a while for you to kind of get comfortable with that. And that's why I tell a lot of people to focus on making videos that you can use for your lead conversion as well, because you can start getting a ROI on it right away if you're using these for lead conversion and get more sphere of influence and database referrals. While you're getting more comfortable on camera, you're building up your channel and you're getting some momentum on your channel. Because it really is like a momentum. It gets easier and easier and easier. You get more and more views the more you do this.
Yeah. And it does give you social proof, right? So when a client is researching you, they start seeing your stuff comes up and they see that you have legitimate content and they start seeing that you're ranking well and you got great reviews. That's almost as important as a recommendation from a friend or family member. So for anybody that's in the lead gen game, I will tell you, having really good content and really good reviews is super helpful for conversion. Would you agree with that, Malcolm?
Yeah, absolutely. So just like 2 days ago, I got a referral from a real estate agent, and she got my name from like a friend or something. She's calling me up and questioning me and kind of interviewing me. And it turns out that her clients were going to a military base here in Maryland. And I was able to send her my YouTube video all about this military base, the different areas that I recommend people move to when they're at this military base, what the housing prices are and all this information. And like that totally it sealed the deal. And I got that referral, and it just totally shows my credibility that I know all about the VA loan. I know about this base. I know about the areas around that base. So, I mean, that's an example of using it to convert this agent referral.
Yeah. And again, this goes back to, I think you're making a lot more than the $100,000 you said from YouTube, because when you start adding all those things and how you're utilizing it, I'm sure it's considerably more. So somebody says, how do leads come in? Do they just call you, or is there a lead capture?
Right. Yeah. So it's not like a Facebook lead. That is like a lot of people, they ask me, well, how do I get the lead? Like with Facebook, I get a text message with their info. It's nothing like that. It's marketing. So they call me, they email me, or they fill out the contact form on my website. And almost always they say, hey, we found you on YouTube. Like they say that quite often. Or if they don't say that, I do ask them, how do you guys find me? But yeah, just I personally like it when they fill out the contact form on my website. I try to encourage people to do that, but I also give my phone number and my email address as well.
Perfect. Love it. Um, we've got a couple more minutes. So, I mean, anybody want to ask a question live or type it in the chat? But we've caught somebody who's built a great YouTube business. And thank you for your knowledge today, Malcolm. I can't thank you enough. This has been amazing value for all of us. So what other questions are out there? We've got a couple more minutes.
Yeah, one thing I could talk about is kind of the difference between a Facebook video and a YouTube video. Because a lot of people are coming from Facebook trying to figure out what works on YouTube. And I say that on Facebook, you know, if you look about how people view that information on Facebook, you know, it automatically starts playing. So what that means is that you have to create really entertaining and quick and action grabbing videos on Facebook that gets their attention. And that's not necessarily the case on YouTube. It's all about getting them to click on the video, and it's about getting your videos to rank in search as well. So the type of content is a little bit different that you want to make, and you want to make a lot more information-based content. So I do a lot of my videos just right here in my studio. I don't really leave my studio all that much, and it's just so much more informational based. And the truth is, a lot of my videos don't do well on YouTube. You know, if I have a 20-minute long video, or let's say a 15-minute long video, where it's just me talking, a talking head video, those don't do very well on Facebook. So a big part of this is going to be really understanding the culture on YouTube and what works well on YouTube versus the other platforms.
Beautiful. I'll ask you one last question here. Do you run any ads on YouTube? I think you answered that early on, but go ahead.
I don't. I've experimented a little bit. You know, there was a time where I was getting $100 a month from YouTube, and I was like, man, I'm trying to rate around and spend $100 in ads on YouTube. I've never really seen much of a return on that investment. And I have a lot of friends who are real estate agents on YouTube. None of them have really seen much of a return on that investment. Now, there's something cool that you can do with YouTube ads, and that is if you have Google Analytics installed on your website, you can retarget people who visit your website with your YouTube ads. So if you wanted to, anybody visit your website, you could set it up so you know they'll see a pre-roll ad for one of your videos or something every week or something like that. So that's really helping kind of your lead conversion in a way. But I'm not doing that right now, and no, I don't do any YouTube ads.
Okay. I'm going to sneak one other one here so Maggie doesn't get her question missed here. Have you done any interviews as videos? Would you recommend that? Almost like a video version of a podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. You could do something like that. You know, if it's just you and them talking, that can get a little dry. You know, you want to incorporate some B-roll in that. Maybe you could cut that up into smaller segments and smaller bite-sized pieces. Not too small, but you know, if it's just like an hour-long video, you guys talking about your local area, that type of stuff would have a hard time ranking on YouTube, honestly. Don't really see too many people really having a lot of success with that. But if you wanted to break that up into individual sections, add some B-roll, make it a little bit more interesting, I think something like that could work. Live streams are kind of a big thing on YouTube lately as well. And I've been really focusing on live streams. And what I like about it is that when you schedule a live, it shows up in people's news feed. And then when you go live, it pins it to the top of people's subscription feed. And then when the live ends, it saves it as a replayable video again in their subscription feed. So it actually like shows up 3 times in their subscription feed. So YouTube is really promoting lives right now. So something like that, you're talking about doing an interview, you could do a live interview like that. That may get a little bit more traction on YouTube. And yeah, live streams are something I've been really focused on the last couple of months.
Love it. I said that was the last one 2 times now, but we're going to be posting this video on YouTube. So Paige asks, what would you recommend we title this?
Yeah, so you want something really catchy, something like how to crush YouTube as a real estate, or how to 10x your real estate business using YouTube videos. Something like that, something really catchy, make it a headline. You know, when you're talking about titling videos, I recommend people go check out things like BuzzFeed and just look at how they title their article videos, you know, or a lot of these online blogs, and look at how they title their videos. They're really like, they make you curious and they make you want to click on it just with the words. So, you know, go study some of them for writing good, captivating titles.
Awesome. Malcolm, thank you, dude. You've just like given so much value. It's ridiculous. Guys, if you're really wanted to take this to a whole nother level, I always recommend having amazing experts that have done what you're trying to do, as opposed to you trying to reinvent the wheel. Someone like Malcolm, obviously very credible, very trustworthy from what I can see here. This has been amazing value. So check out his course. If people want to follow you, Malcolm, what's the best place they can check you out?
Really good. Go to my Facebook group, Real Estate YouTube Mastermind. I'm in there all the time answering people's questions and posting content and just posting stuff in there. That's probably one of the best ways to kind of ask me a question is in that group.
Awesome, man. Again, Malcolm, thank you so much. This was incredible value. And I took some notes myself, and I'm excited to go back and watch this probably 3-4 times. So thank you very much. Have an amazing day, everybody. And let's keep collaborating and leveling up.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right. Thanks.